Welcome to the Minor Student Athlete Feature. We have Cameron Clemons from the football team joining us here today. And Cameron's been kind of an unusual fall for us. Normally right now we're getting ready for games. Instead, it's kind of like an extended spring practice, more or less. Can you kind of take us through the process a little bit of what it's been like when you had your spring, first of all, cut short, and then you're coming back in the fall, you're anticipating first playing games, and then you basically have a fall session. It's like a spring practice session, more or less. How's that gone for you guys, really?
It was going pretty well. Like you said, it's more of like a spring ball type of deal. So it's more about still working on like the developmental stage, learning the playbook, and just getting the routine of still playing football without playing football. Like that spring ball aspect, we get to compete still against one another. So it's been going pretty well for us.
Of course, you had a scrimmage here a couple of weeks back for the time we're recording this and all that, and you had some competition level within your own team and all that. So you had an opportunity to play a game of sorts, out there on that Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that was a good time. It felt good, and it kind of like felt like a game day. So, like I said, it was a chance for us to really compete that day. We had a scrimmage, and I think it helped us see like where we were at as players and as a team, and what we need to work on individually and how we can improve. But yeah, it's just a chance to see guys actually full speed flying around.
Now, of course, one of the differences is between normal spring ball and what we had this fall was you had a freshman involved as well. So you've got a kind of an early opportunity to see the new players in the program and all that, and kind of how they fit into the system and all that.
Yeah, I think the freshmen that are coming in, it's kind of like an advantage to me because you get a whole semester of unusual time to prepare. You usually come in freshman year, you have about a couple weeks with fall ball and everything. You got the summer a little bit to learn the playbook and get adjusted to college football. So I think it's an advantage for them. They get an early start to learn the playbook, like I said, and develop and build relationships. And then that's always an advantage because it's always can be a difficult transition from high school to college. And this extra gap gives them an advantage.
Now, based on what you saw here in the fall, how do you feel about the team right now? I mean, you guys just finished your fall drills and all that. Kind of how do you feel things sit with the team right now, going into what will basically be a spring season?
I feel real good. I see a lot of guys that are really like on the verge of wanting to get better. So I feel like as a team, we have this kind of like hunger. I've seen it, and it's feeling like it's growing, and the team is on the rise itself. I feel like we're going to do really good things, really big things. And like we said, this spring season and even this little segment we had, fall segment, is really an advantage for us to learn our playbook and to learn each other. And I feel like it got us developed and it created chemistry. And I think some big things going to happen for us.
Of course, you're coming off a season last year where we started out really, really well. We had a couple of tough losses, later in the season and all that. But there's certainly a lot of hunger there to try to get ourselves back to where we were in 2018 and all that. And we're not that far away right now based on the way we played last year.
Yeah, I just feel like you said, guys know that we have the ability to get back to that top-tier team when 2018. And last year, like you said, we weren't that bad. And I feel like this segment gives us a chance to fix those little mistakes we had, the little things that we were missing kind of at the end of the season there. And as a team, I feel like that is part of our hunger is the feeling and knowing that we are capable of being that good.
Now, in your case, you made a position switch last year. You started the year as a wide receiver, and you caught a couple touchdown passes early in the year. The second half of the year, you moved to defense. Kind of talk about that transition that you had to make during the year, from one of the offensive side to the defensive side.
Yeah, it was exciting to me, and it wasn't too much of it wasn't too difficult and abnormal for me because in my previous university, I also had flip sides of the ball. Not in the same season, but I had experience at both. And it's kind of been like an ongoing thing since high school. I played both sides too. So it wasn't too difficult of a transition, but it's exciting to me. And I feel like it's an honor because I know playing both sides at any level, it can be difficult, especially at the college level. And for even to be considered to even play both, it felt good. And it was a good feeling.
Yeah, like you said, this is not an unusual thing for you because it's something you did at Western Illinois, something you did in high school and all that. So you've made that transition before and all that. What's the biggest challenge by making that switch, especially in mid-season like we did last year?
I think the biggest challenge is the different concepts that come with the different positions. Receiver is really honed in on, catching the ball and getting tackled and, trying to avoid being tackled and then to play defensively and to tackle too. I feel like that's a big aspect of the game that comes with playing, like tackling, and I feel like that's the most difficult thing for me personally.
Now, on that subject, how does the time you spend at wide receiver really help you on the defensive side of the ball? I mean, I think it had to help you to some degree, kind of maybe knowing what a wide receiver might try to do in a situation like that, having you been in that shoes before. How does that really help you from that standpoint, having played a lot of wide receiver at this level and now playing on the defensive side?
It helps me a lot actually, like you said, because I have a knowing and a mindset of what a receiver is trying to accomplish with his alignment, what type of route he's trying to run. And when I'm playing defense, you just kind of think of, as a receiver, what we're trying to get the defensive back to do, and that kind of helps me out on the defensive side because as the mindset of a receiver, I know what his objective is, I know what he's trying to do.
So you kind of see maybe like when he's turning for a ball or something like that, okay, the ball's heading in this direction, be ready to go because you've been there. You know what time to make that turn. Now, when everything got halted back in March, when the pandemic came around and all that, everybody got sent home for the end of the school year. How did you deal with getting yourself ready for the season? Going back home to St. Louis and all that, and how did you deal with all that matter during the spring and summer?
During the spring and summer, actually, I was out here in Rolla. I have an apartment out here, and I really just tried my best to incorporate workouts at home workouts. I would try to do field workouts on my own and with some teammates when I could. It was difficult, not having the routine every day, go to practice and lift weights, but I tried to hone in on getting work in on my own if it was outside my home or at a field when I could. And I just did my best to stay in shape and just try to stay ready.
How many of your teammates were with you when you were trying to, do all these workouts outside during the summer?
It started out, it was just me and Dante White. It was just us at first, really. And then we had other guys that were, they would be in town and guys that have, it was Briam was with us as well. And it was about, the most we had, it's about 5 guys. And then, but it's different guys because some guys come into town, some guys live close. But for the most part, it was about 5 of us. And when we could, and because of COVID, sometimes the field wasn't open and we couldn't even get onto the field because of the COVID.
And that came later in the summer and all that when you finally got to do some stuff as a team, those you were here in Raleigh at that time. Now, what made you decide to come here to Missouri S&T?
Missouri S&T is a school that I had, I was communicating with them my senior year during the recruiting process, so I was familiar with Coach Jury. And it's just a school that's full of opportunities, and not just football-wise, but educational and career-wise. It's a good school, and it's a good fit. And I seen the film because my Tershawn Warden was one of my best friends in high school, and I kept up with him and an update about the teams, and we would throughout our careers we would talk about what was going on with the teams we were on. And as the guys that were competing, and it looked like a place to be.
Plus, I'm sure you're excited about him playing in the NFL right now and all that, and the job he's doing with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, I mean, I'm sure you keep touching him quite a bit, right now, too, with, all that going on.
So I do. Tershawn is he's doing. I'm very excited for him because it's something that I've always seen. I've always seen his work ethic. I've always seen the type of player he is, and even now he's making plays in the biggest stage you can make them. And to me, I'm just excited because I know it's just a peak. I mean, not a peak, but it's just a preview of what he's actually capable of because of his work ethic and because of the resources he has now. I know he has a bright future and a long career ahead of him.
Now, you're majoring in telecommunications. What kind of makes you decide to go in that direction?
It's kind of like technical communication is kind of very important in the world we live today. We live in a technical world, and that's basically, and it's not too bad. It's kind of like a business degree as well, but it teaches you the ways to talk in the business world, the ways to communicate effectively. And I just feel like that's something that's going to be needed, especially in the way that our society is going away, and the era we're in is really technical.
Now, upon graduation, what are your plans at that point?
For graduation, it's like S&T is a school of opportunity. So after I graduate, I will reach out to jobs and depending on how my football career goes. But if that's not, I will do my best to use my degree and try to find a place to start my career in the job field somewhere.
Well, thank you, Cameron, for your time. Good luck here this coming season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.